What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great hump day. It is time to get over the hump. I'm on the road again, headed back down there to work on the red brick house, and I'm as excited as can be. I'm going to be solo this week, man, but I'm going to be working on my cabinets and be working on some plaster of the walls and all kinds of stuff. And if it stops raining, some of the siding, we going to be doing that shit. But I'm just sitting here. I'm excited because, one, we've already had, a good week in, and the Dallas Cowboys players are not in the news. We got Tyreek Hill, who may be in a situation, is being investigated about possibly hitting somebody at a marina and things like that. It's always been that off season, that time between the end of OTAs and minicamp till training camp, that you hold your breath. You hold your breath and say, please, baby, please, baby, please, baby, please, baby, please, don't anybody get in trouble. We had like Tyrone Crawford, who was in Florida at a bar and stuff, and, ended up, throwing everybody off of him and things, that kind of issue. We've had guys get injured in the off season and things, and, that you worry about them getting hurt. Zeke Elliott and, Booby Gate, and when he was down in Florida on the scooter and at the club and things, or Vegas. So far, so good, no issues, and let's pray for the next 4 weeks. I don't know exactly what day training camp's starting, but it's the 21st of June right now. 21st of June. Somewhere about the next month and maybe a week, I'd say about 25, 26, it should be open. But us as Cowboy fans, listen, can we stop belly aching and whining and crying and screaming about, what we haven't done in the past? Because here's the thing. If you take a coin and you flip a coin, okay, 50 times, and 50 times in a row, it comes up heads, right? Do you know the 51st time what the odds are that it comes out to be a head or a tail? Do you know? 50 times it's been a heads. Guess what? It's still 50-50. It can go either way. All those other times you flip that coin have no bearing on the next one. So those years of the Cowboys not getting to the NFC Championship game or getting to the Super Bowl have no bearing on this team. They don't. It's really a matter of, and as much as people don't want to look at it, talent matters. Now, I'm going to be the anti-kill the Cowboys guy. I'm always that guy that the glass is half full. I look at last year and say, quite honestly, last year was a blessing. That team actually overachieved. You may say I'm crazy, but just think about it. Just think about this for a second. I was having a discussion this morning with my dad. My dad said to me, 85 years old, lifetime Dallas Cowboy fan. When Clarence Hill was talking about there's a lot of black men that are, old school black men that are Cowboy fans. I told you guys why my dad was. He liked Bob Bullet Hayes and didn't like the Commanders because they were the last team to integrate. My dad, a lifelong Dallas Cowboy fan who made me a Dallas Cowboy fan. I wanted to be like my dad. And I don't want to hear this stuff that, you were forced into it. I just wanted to be like my dad. He didn't force me to be a Cowboy fan. I looked up to him and wanted to be like him. My brother Greg, on the other hand, he's a Commanders fan. So you can't, I don't want to hear anybody saying, it was child abuse. No, he didn't make me. I wanted to be one like him. But he said to me this morning, he said, what are the Cowboys going to do this year? I said, there's no guarantees of anything. I said, but Dad, just look at where we are at our wide receiver core versus the start of last season. Now, see, my dad, he likes to watch the Cowboys. He doesn't get into all the different players. You know, you got the name players, of course, Dak and Zeke and all, but he doesn't get down into, you know, all the smaller name players and stuff. I said, but Dad, I said, just the comparison to where we are right now versus last year. I said, Dad, I said, going into that season last year, I said, we had doubts on whether or not CeeDee Lamb was truly a number one receiver, or if he was better as a number two, a slot guy. And I said he was our most experienced wide receiver, and this was going into his third year. I said we had Noah Brown, who had about 400 yards of experience. I think he had about 400 yards going in there. I said, but never had a touchdown catch, period. I said we had Semi Fioco. I said Semi was one of your wide receivers to start the season, who I believe had like 3 catches in his career. And I said, then you also had, as your number 4, Dennis Houston, a guy who had never played in an NFL game. That was your wide receiver core. That was your wide receiver core. You can look at right now, Michael Gallup. Let's be clear here. Michael Gallup last year was better than any, again, where his body was, okay? I'm saying coming back from injury. Michael Gallup was better than any of those guys right there. And Michael Gallup last year was terrible. That was not a wide receiving core right there. CD, incredible season. CD, you look for him to take another step. But Michael Gallup, healthy, is far and away better than anybody but CeeDee Lamb on that from last year. That's a major improvement in itself. But now you have a guy who can stretch the field in Brandon Cooks. And let's be clear here. CD was the only deep threat we had. Now you got 2 guys that can go, maybe 3 if Michael Gallup is truly healed the way they say he is. Night and day difference. And when people talk about, you know, this is where it's funny to me. People talk about, you know, Dak Prescott and his interceptions and everything else. They don't take into account at all the guys he was throwing to. The fact that was the beginning wide receiver core. And the only change that happened on that was you ended up bringing in Michael Gallup, who couldn't get separation. And towards the end of the season, we brought in from the Colts. Jeez, can't remember. You didn't have a great wide receiving core. And guys that can get open, that does matter, and that does help the quarterback. And throw into that, the amazing thing is, as much as Dak Prescott got trashed, I don't believe any other quarterback that he was compared to last year broke their thumb or had a major injury during the season that they had to recover from. You know, your thumb is key in throwing a football. If you don't have a thumb, you can't hold the damn football. So, as a Cowboy fan, you should be excited about where we are. You should be ecstatic about having better wide receivers and Dak Prescott not having a broken thumb. Hopefully, he stays healthy during the season. And we'll see where all that goes, but I'm happy. And that's what I told my dad. And I think you've got great opportunities. Now, make sure you guys tune in tonight, because I got something special happening. Oh, my goodness. I got something special for my wife that I want to show off. My Father's Day present. And it's going to be fitting down here tonight. Oh, you got to see. You just have to see. I'm gonna tease it all day. I'm gonna tease it all day. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna tease it all day. But I'm driving down the road in the rain, and I can't wait. I need to have my computer to do this other part that I want to talk about. But Rich Eisen has an idea of how to make the Dallas Cowboys a super team. And I want to discuss it, but I want you guys to hear the quote from it. And I don't want to try and do this while I'm driving down the road because I'm not trying to get myself killed. And I don't have anybody here who can set it up and play it for me. But it's an interesting take, a very interesting take. And I'd like to know from you guys if you'd actually go for it. Not that it matters if we go for it or not. The question is would Jerry Jones or Stephen Jones? All right, hope you're having a great hump day. We're going to get down the road and get over the hump. Peace.